Afternoon, back for another session of tiny races. They are the Dirty races, I think it's themed today. I can't remember the exact name actually. I've been busy with tech issues today, so I'm a bit scatterbrained. That's also maybe if my camera looks a bit odd, I think it might be a bit off to the side because I was having to use the phone I used for my camera for something else earlier. But yeah, we're starting on Serpentine 8, which is a very tricky one because the first 2 minutes is on tarmac and flat to downhill, or flat or downhill, and then the rest of it, like the next 7 minutes, is all pretty much all gravel. So I've gone for a gravel bike, hoping that I can keep up with them for the first 2 minutes, or at least not get totally dropped, because that's better than being on a road bike on gravel for the rest of it. So here we go. "85 riders, maybe only 77 starters though." Oh. Okay, here comes the dirt. Finally. I managed to cling back on. Yeah. Oh, that was a tough start. Only got about 4 minutes warm up. Oh. Man, I didn't have the fan on. Oh, didn't notice we came off the gravel, I was still off the power. Gravel bike hurts me on stone. Oh, top 50, that's not bad. Really tiring by the end after having to work so hard on the downhill to begin with. Luke got a podium, that's good going. I think he was on a road bike. Right, let's change bike before I forget. Ton to go for even the next upgrade on that one. Oh dear, I don't ride enough gravel, do I? I don't have a normal phone, which means I've got no music to listen to, which I kind of try and tune out to when I'm hurting. And it means having to type in with my mini keyboard if I want to speak. There won't be much typing from me today. Because as well, I've got my little controllers, click controllers for using my power up. Right, this next one is around the Volcano Reverse course, or Volcano Flat Reverse course. Pardon me. We finish at the top of the Dirty Sorpressa through the Italian villages section, and so it's a uphill windy dirt finish. I think the finish line is just before you hit the cobbles on the Italian kind of piazza at the top there. Luke says he wouldn't recommend a gravel bike for any of these races. Now he tells me. But I think it does depend on your situation. I know that I can't push high power at the moment, and certainly not very long, and I haven't got a sprint. So when a race is mostly on the dirt, a gravel bike makes sense for me if I can get to the gravel still just about in touch with the front group, which I managed just about in that first race. I still had people coming past me, so I still had draft, even though the front group itself, the main pack, dropped me by a few seconds. But the people coming past me meant I didn't actually lose draft completely. So I was only about 2 or 3 seconds behind, and straight onto the dirt, I carried through more speed as we hit the dirt, which meant I could stay with them. And then, except for that part on the stone near the end, it meant that I wasn't having to push as hard to keep up with road bikes, and I had to push the same power as gravel bikes. I'm not sure how many other gravels there were. Luke's not quite right there about the steamroller not helping on tarmac. It does help on tarmac if you're not on a road bike, because what it does is it makes the rolling resistance exactly the same as it would be for a road bike on tarmac, which means if you're on a gravel bike or a mountain bike on tarmac, you have higher rolling resistance until you drop your steamroller, and you get 30 seconds then of standard rolling resistance of a road bike on tarmac. However, it is better used when you're on something other than tarmac, such as the dirt finish that we'll have at the end of this race. This one is mostly tarmac, so it makes no sense at all to use a gravel bike. It is definitely a road bike race. But then, what I've seen before on this course is a lot of people dropping their power-ups when we're in different sections of the tarmac part of the route. Unfortunately, Luke has just stopped probably a lot of them from doing that and wasting their power-ups, which I am quite happy for them to do. Please waste them so that I get more chance of having a better finish against people when I use my steamroller at the end. So, naughty Luke, giving away trade secrets. He may well watch this video. He might not. So yeah, when we did it, I think we did this route about 6 months ago, or actually all these routes, about 6 months ago. and about half the pack had used their steamrollers, maybe even more than that, by the time that we got to the dirt at the end of this particular race 2 route. And so it meant that there weren't as many people getting a benefit on the dirt towards the finish. And I almost got a podium. I got pipped on the line into 4th place. I think Luke actually won it that day, going up the dirt section like a bat out of hell using his steamroller. But those kind of mid steepness uphill sections are the best kind of finish option I have at the moment, because I can't do high cadence, which means on flats or downhills I can't get any power for a sprint finish. But on those I can stand up and do lower cadence to get high power up the hill, which means I can get up to about 6 watts a kilo, at least very briefly at the moment, while my legs are still, well, buggered basically, healing, let's say. So they're more helpful to me than any kind of flat or downhill finish would be. Alright. Yes, Dirty Sorpressa. Here we go. I'm really missing my music. I know you've got some on the stream, but I don't have any to listen to. lot of people still using their power up still, thankfully. That's nothing left in the legs. Hey, top 50 again. Now this one is the one that has the least amount of dirt on it, in the least consequential place to a certain extent. It's on a flat section between some pavement sections as we kind of go across the dirty bit. But this one often tends to go at a punishingly fast pace because it's mainly flat. Hence the name Flat Route. So it's going to be just struggle to try and actually stay with the pack and not get dropped. Then we have one little medium-ish kicker out of the underwater tunnel before we turn onto the dirt. And that's about it in terms of any kind of sustained means of climbing beyond just little, rolling sections. Oh. And then race 4 is on the jungle circuit reverse. So we go down from the start to race 1, where we go down the tarmac and onto the dirt. But I think then we hang a left instead of a right and go through the jungle dirt, over the rope bridge and up to what would normally be the jungle circuit start banner. It's more little bits of uphill where people push on the pace very quickly, that you can so easily get dropped on the dirt. Whereas this one, with it being flat and tarmac, is more about people just being persistent with high pace, and you just eventually the legs just say, I can't go that fast anymore. And it doesn't take that long for my legs at the moment. Yeah, that sounds about right. He's just saying he's got this one memorised. It's out of the gate slow, claw back time on the yellow sections to make it back to the pack, and suffer the rest of the way no matter what turn we take. That sounds about right for this one. It is very much so often a race of attrition, because particularly heavier riders on the flat really drop down the lay down the power and keep the pace, the speed high. And as soon as you drop out of the draft, you get dropped like a stone. Nearly run out of fudge. Oh. Can I have this power source turned off on that last race? Can't remember. I was just trying to stick with them. I wasn't looking at the gaps so much because I was sticking with the front pack. Whereas normally I'm just looking to see what the gaps in the groups ahead and behind of me are. I know it often kind of goes into the background, but I'm really missing having my music. It's so quiet in my room here. Half the time I kind of think, oh, was I listening to that? But now that I haven't got it, I realise how much I must actually tune into it kind of subconsciously, or as a secondary thing in my body. Race 4, I think I'm going to try gravel bike again, but the problem is I'll be tired, so that first 2 minutes of start on the tarmac, I will probably get dropped. I think it's still, for me, the better option, as long as I don't get completely dropped by everybody. I've got stragglers and that ahead of me to get drafted off as I move along. I might be able to catch people up if I'm on a dirt bike, if I'm on a road bike. I reckon as soon as we hit the dirt, I won't have the power to stick with them. Legs haven't really actually recovered from Wednesday doing the cobbled crown as with games stage 3. I won't be back for the others, by the way, for games stages 4 and 5. They're just too long and too much climbing for my legs at the moment, and particularly saying that about my legs not recovering since Wednesday, I think that kind of backs that up. It would just be too much. It's not worth the risk, despite wanting to do the games to completion. Here we go. Someone on a flyer. Hope they don't chase them. is the kicker. Before we hit the dirt road between. Oh, top 50 again, just. Oh, I really faded at the end there. Legs, yeah, went. Let's change onto my gravel bike. So yeah, this is Jungle Circuit Reverse. Same start the first couple of minutes or so as race one. So I'm onto the gravel bike. I don't know what the legs have got left. Doesn't feel like a great deal. Got a few minutes of recovery. We'll see how we go. I was just thinking in that last race though, the amount of times the pack kind of elongated and then route back up again as pace changed, and the amount of times that I ended up right next to or just literally just ahead or behind Luke. So Cool Hand as his name shows in race. it happens so often in these tiny races. He's such a better racer than me, particularly given he's currently got a good sprint finish. But I think we must approach races in a very similar tactical manner, that we end up in the same parts of the road right next to each other so often, as you know, course undulations or pace changes or breaks or whatever happen. I never notice it with many other people. He's a little easier to spot with he almost always wears a pink top, so it does make him a little easier to spot than other people. Yeah, it does seem to happen way more often with them than with other racers. This one again is an uphill, well, upish, a draggy finish rather than uphill. It's not steep. It's about, I think, 4% finish on dirt. So after the first couple of first couple of minutes, not sure actually how long that first bit is. Maybe I'll check this time if I remember to check when we hit the dirt. So we've got those first couple of minutes of tarmac, a little straight rise and then the downhill. Then it's almost all dirt with some little sections of stone and wood bridge when you hit near the last like 1.5k, I think. So I'm just gonna hope that I can be respectable in these first 2 minutes. That will keep me in the hunt for a fourth consecutive top 50 finish. Off a little bit tight. Yeah, right one definitely feels tighter.
Ride on!
23k to go and now I can have some proper food. Well, shower first, of course.
Hammer time!
I couldn't make it. I got top 50. I made the decision to use my power up and as much as I could get out of my legs to catch on to the pack when they started to drop us, rather than saving my power up for the end on those kind of wooden stony bits. And I think I made the right call, because once I got back on I really benefited from the draft of the group. Even though I wasn't on with the front riders, I had a group of about 10 people giving me draft, so I could ease a little bit on the power to try and recover my legs a bit. When I saw one guy trying to bridge to the group ahead at the end, I thought if I could go with him and get onto the pack before the wood started, that would secure my top 50 place. But I got about halfway there, realised the legs didn't have enough to push, and then hit the wood. And as I hit the wooden bridge, they started to stream past me, and I was just counting my number going up: 41, 42, 43. Luckily it didn't hit 50. Yeah, well, 51. 50 still top 50. Yeah, that's a hard way to do that race for after doing 3 races and starting on the gravel bike on the tarmac for 2 minutes. Thankfully it was only a couple of seconds off the group, and I was just about managed to get on again before getting dropped again, before getting on to a group again, if not the front group. So yeah, definitely a topsy-turvy jungle race 4 for me today. Right, I'm going to go and cool down and have a shower and some food, and then go back to trying to fix my phone, which has completely died, and I can't remember the last time I backed it up. Oh dear. Fingers crossed. As I say, I won't be back for the rest of the Zwift Games events because they're too long climbing for my legs at the moment. So I might try and find some Zwift crit events midweek to try and ride for the next couple of weeks while the rest of Zwift Games is on. So watch out for videos on those. In the meantime, as ever, bring a towel and don't panic.